Hello and welcome. Today is the last webinar in this series of Womb Consciousness Awakening. Of course, it's such a big topic, but these are some of the key sessions that I have wanted to share with all of you. And today's session is on the Womb Mandala. This is a process that has helped me so much in my own personal life. When I first learned it, I learned it from the book of Womb Wisdom by Anaya Sophia and Padma Ayon, and it's a wonderful book. There are such beautiful tools in it, and how you use the tools. Don't go into the history and the geography of all of it, but see how this tool will help you to create such beautiful boundaries with within your own life, in your own space, and that will help you to know who do I allow in my space, who can be around me, and who do I want in my home space, who honors me. Okay. Otherwise, we are keeping hajaro people in our home space and we don't even realize. So we'll be doing lots of beautiful practices today, one practice today. So we are going to go through the womb mandala, and this is a beautiful Thangka painting of the womb realm mandala. You can look it up on the net. It's very beautiful. So what is the womb mandala? The flow for today's session is, what is the womb mandala? What is the womb mandala practice? How do you read a womb mandala and how do you clear energies? This is a little bit about the womb realm mandala. The center square represents the young stage of Vairochana and is surrounded by these 8 Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and all those names are here. Okay, so what is the premise of the womb mandala? Now, we have many wounds and barriers. From our first session, we realized that womb becomes like a storehouse. It's like an unconscious space that we are not even aware of. And sometimes we just send all our heavy emotions into this space. And especially this is true for us women. Okay. So what we do, because of this, and because within the womb, because of these barriers, we leak energy from these wounds, and they are there. We don't even realize they are there, and a lot of negative energy can enter a space. Now, these energies can dissipate our potency, our empowerment, and creative potential. So many a times you may have seen, a lot of people say there is bad luck for 7 years, sade sati they call, and you wonder why for so many years. Like, is it like we are under some spell, or is it, what is it? So, but these wounds, unless you make them conscious and you become aware of them, they will continue to leak the power that you hold within your womb space, okay? And your own creative potential. So the womb opens through right relationship. And we know for centuries, our relationships get booched because of our personal relationship with our own growing up parents, our mothers and our fathers, and they give us wounds, which, we are not judging anybody. We are just becoming aware of the wounds, we heal them. And if you learn about Carl Jung psychology, they talk about the father complex, the mother complex, healing the inner child, and even the inner child is of so many types. Yeah. So having the right discernment and correct boundaries will allow the womb to feel safe, nurtured, and free to bloom. The key word here is safe. I want to feel safe. Now, if I want to feel safe in my own house, I'm not going to allow somebody whose energies are going to make me feel very disruptive and, kind of people who are two-faced. Like on the surface, they are really nice and loving and kind. And then, they have this dark side of theirs, which is very volatile, and maybe you can't handle it. So such people, you don't want to allow them into your space. Okay. Knowing who are your allies and who are your allies and who is taking something from you or feeding off your energy. You don't realize sometimes people just come to suck your energy. And I remember this talk once when Oprah Winfrey mentions, and she says some of them are these energy vampires, and they will just whoop, whoop, like vacuuming out the energy. And you will know this because when you visit such people, or when such kind of people visit you, it leaves your space feeling very empty, and you feel very low. And when you meet people with high vibration, your energy is uplifted instantly. Old lovers, deceased people, people who wish you no good, all of them can be attached to your womb, because any kind of energy that you have shared, even in terms of words or in terms of anything, they're all going to be there. Okay. So if we do not know what or who is in our wombs, we cannot have these appropriate boundaries as to what or who should be in our wombs and what who should not be. So one of the quickest ways to identify and clear these draining patterns is, from the womb, is to place your womb in a right relationship with and through the womb mandala. Okay. So what is a womb mandala? So for that, first we need to know what is a mandala. A mandala is a geometric configuration of symbols. Okay. And it is employed for focusing your attention of the practitioner as a spiritual guidance tool and for establishing a sacred space and as an aid to meditation. In addition to that, we know how sacred symbols work. If you have read Carl Jung's book on Signs and Symbols, we have these symbols all around us. The symbol is just a symbol, but the meaning you attach to it is your own, or it has come from what that symbol means over centuries. And if someone has given it a meaning, then we work with that meaning. And sometimes I also feel you need to have your own personal meaning for any symbol that you're looking at. So today, please scout and scavenge around your own house and check what all symbols are there available in your space, and you will find it in your womb. When we are doing the womb mandala practice, you will see all these symbols showing up for you. So it works on 4 directions, the womb mandala, okay? And we orient ourselves by in order to live in harmony with the web of life. So we are doing it in 4 directions. To clear out any unhealthy relationships, you must remove them from your womb. We don't want them there. It's like in your house, you don't want some negative elements. You have to tell them, thank you, but please leave. I don't want you around. You can also place all the relationships that you are engaged in into positions that are best allow your womb to flourish. Okay, so there are certain positions which are meant for certain kind of personalities in your life. And then what you need to do is you can rearrange it the way you want it. All right, it's a delicate balance and one that your womb needs to have in order to trust and to be open. So we can start with the practice right now. I would want you to take a notebook and a pen or even crayons or whatever that you have and do the practice with me, okay, as you're listening to this talk, and see what shows up for you. And then we'll also do what is the meaning, okay, of what is coming. So before we start any practice, let us invite and invoke the presence of our spirit guides, our ancestors, our gods and goddesses who we are close to, our Ishta Devtas, whoever else you want to call into this space. And I want you to take 3 deep grounding breaths. So take a breath in and breathe out. One more deep breath and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And now in your mind's eye, you can do it in your mind's eye, this practice, or even on your paper. But first, I would suggest you do it in your mind's eye, and then whatever comes up for you, you can write it down on paper. So draw 3 wide concentric circles. Okay, so you have the first circle, the second circle, and the third circle. And the first circle, which is right in the center, has a center point. And you can maybe draw a little dot or a bindi there, or whatever else you want to draw. This central point is you. Now sit silently, clear your mind, breathe deeply into your womb. So let's do the womb breath. Let's do about 6 counts of the womb breath. We did it in our first video. The practice is simple. You breathe in, and when you're breathing in, you imagine you're airing your entire reproductive system, and the air is entering through your vaginal canal. And when you're breathing out, it's cleansing everything inside your uterus and your cervix and vaginal canal. It's getting out from that space. So we're breathing in and we're breathing out. That's the womb breathing. Let's do about 6 of them. Take a deep breath. You can even contract your vaginal floor or pelvic floor muscles as you do this, kind of taking your attention to that space. You can even place your hands on your womb space, which is 2 inches below your navel. You can keep your hands in the womb mudra. That has been also explained in the first video of this series. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. 2 more breaths. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now visualize yourself in the center of a circle. That circle that you have drawn in the center, and you are standing in the center of it. And now begin calling in all the people and relationships that your womb is connected to, and to make themselves known in this moment. Now do not question what you see. Whoever's coming, let them come. The first thing that arises is the correct message. Now see yourself in this center and look who is behind you. See who is standing there and just make a note of it. Who is standing behind you in this moment? Do not allow your mind to dictate or put anyone who you would like to be there, but just notice who is there. And at the same time, note if this person is alive or has passed on. There is no right and wrong. Take a deep breath. And now look in front of you, breathe and feel who is standing in front of you. And now look to your left. Who is there? And look to your right, who is standing there. Now, these are the primary relationships that are present in your womb space, that your womb is engaged in. Do not judge, do not judge anybody. Let them just be there. Let's move on and now go on to create your second or the secondary circle, second circle around this first circle. Now check who is behind the person who is behind you. Who is in front of the person who is in front of you in the second circle? Who is to the left of you in the second circle? And who is to the right of you in the second circle? Now, this is your second circle. And then comes your third circle, which is the periphery. Now, simply look at ease all around the periphery of the third circle and see what is there. You can see different images, symbols, and people floating up. Okay? Just notice who all are present. Your mandala now will have a picture with you in the center. You're surrounded by two circles of other beings and one circle of images. You will see two beings in front, two beings behind you, two to your left and two to your right. And it is often surprising to identify the people who are energetically active in your life. Once you have seen this, please make a note of these names, because sometimes you tend to forget what you have seen. So take a minute to make a note in your notebook. You can pause the video at this point. You can even draw the symbols. And now we'll come to the reading of this mandala. The ones who are in front of you are your guides, your mentors, your teachers, your inspiration. They are your source of strength, from where you learn, who you look up to. Behind you are your protectors, your supporters, your guardians, and your strength. To your right is the male power, masculine energy, what we spoke of, right? On the right side, we have the Pingala Nadi. So it is the male power, your brother, your friend, or your husband. Now, don't get worried if you have seen some women there. Just be aware of what is the energy like. To your left is feminine love, soul sister, friend, your wife, feminine energy, basically. So the first circle of people or beings that you see are the ones who are closest to you and those who you value the most. Okay? These are the ones you value the most. They are the most supportive of you, and they are nurturing towards you, and you are nurturing towards them in turn. So these people are the ones you allow into your deepest and most intimate space. These tend to be the soulful connections of our soul family. Now, you may have some people who you feel, oh my God, what are these people doing in my womb mandala, the primary circle? Who are these people? Why are they even there? Hang on. We will do another ritual at the end of clearing and redoing the womb mandala the way you want it to be. Now we're just getting aware of who's there in your space. The second circle of people or beings are those you connect to through your womb. They have a strong impact on you and are considered to be close. These tend to be our human connections, our human family. They could be friends, they could be relatives. You can also see them in your first circle, yeah, friends and relatives. And the peripheral circle, it contains all the projects that you are connected to and what you're manifesting. So if you have seen people, if you have seen objects, if you've seen symbols, if you've seen words popping up, these are all projects and objects that you're connected with. It's better to have few choice projects rather than many. Sometimes our periphery is crowded. So you want to keep your projects potent rather than diluted. Okay, so all three circles represent those people and projects that have the most influence on you in your life, and they are the ones you allow to directly affect you and who you have let into your womb and the deeper aspects of yourself. When I did this exercise for the very first time, I saw people I did want in my space, but they were there. So now I want you to pay attention. So take a look again at all the beings in your womb mandala. Take your time with them. Do you feel a closeness? Do you feel a warmth with all these beings? Okay. Are you a person who wants to stay connected to dead people, or are you a person who wants to be with those who are alive? Are you a person who wants to be around those people who are your 4 a.m. people who are right next to you, or someone who is very far away and distant? It's up to you. There is no right and wrong. Whatever is perfect for you. Is there everyone who is there in full support of your growth? Because there are many, okay, who are jealous, who are envious of your growth, who talk behind your back. Every time you do something good, they will say something negative and pull you down. Do you want such people in your home space? Do any of these beings deplete your energy? Okay, they're energy vampires. Do they deplete your energy, and do you want them? Who do you feel is not in his or her right position? And what does this mean to you? So, for example, if your husband is on the left, which is the feminine position, then there is an imbalance here, because you have put your husband, who ideally brings the masculine energy, into the equation. You have placed your husband on the left side. But it does not make it clear that if you are in an intimate relationship with a man, then you are using more of your masculine qualities and he's using more of his feminine. Place them in the right position and you will know who is doing what. If you have a man who's not your partner but a friend or a loved one, this could indicate that he holds a feminine space for you. Some similar wisdom will hold true for a man who finds a woman on the right side of the woman. So many of us have, if you are a man, or even if you're a woman, and you find a woman on the right side, then that means she is holding a lot of masculine qualities. And that is what you are balancing it out with that person. So be very conscious, be very aware of what is showing up in your space right now. If there are people in the mandala who you know do not support you, or who you have there out of guilt or obligation, sometimes we want to keep our parents with us forever and ever and ever. And maybe they have not supported your growth at some point, and they have been, their energy itself kind of puts you into a space of fight and flight and makes you anxious. Please, you don't need them there in your home space. That doesn't mean you're dishonoring them. You're honoring them for who they are. But in your intimate space, they don't have the place. All right? Or who you have, then you have to question this and move them out to the periphery or completely out altogether. Okay? Who is it that you want now in your space? And this is not about judging anyone. Discernment and building your boundaries really well. Now, I'm an introvert. More of an extrovert, less of an introvert. But these days, post-menopause, I'm moving more towards my introvert space. And I feel my circle is just getting smaller and smaller. And I really want those who are supportive and nurturing to my growth. And especially those who bring a sense of calm to me, around me. Their nervous systems match my nervous system. Anybody who makes me agitated and gets me all worked up, I cannot be around these people. And that is me. That is my energy. There's no right and wrong. All those who are hyper and jumpy, they can find their hyper and jumpy friends, but it's not for me right now. Look at your project circle now. The last one, the periphery one. Are there things that shouldn't be there? You were working in one office maybe some 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and you still have that symbol hanging around there, or people from that time in your space. Okay. Or, you have had maybe old boyfriends or old lovers, and some of the objects that remind you of them are also there in that space, because it keeps you hooked. These are things that keep you hooked, and you don't know it's so friggin' working in the unconscious. You're not even aware of how it's affecting your current. So all projects, obscure images that need to be removed, clear, make it neat, clean, minimalist. Okay. Like I call myself a maximalist. And yet now I'm in a space where I want to minimize this stuff. So before removing anything, inquire into the nature of its being, allowing yourself to feel any emotional responses before removing. Because a lot of people even give us gifts. But what was the intention of that gift? You wouldn't know, but your body will know. You will feel it. So this is a process which is not getting over with this class. Once this class is over, you'll have to sit and actually do this exercise one by one. Look at each object. Consciously remove and consciously add if you want to, some things. And if you do not deal with the emotion, who will recreate the same mandala? We will recreate that mandala few weeks later as well. You can recreate it. But the purpose is to support your evolution, your soul's evolution. You're consciously placing who you want in your mandala space. Then we come to the question of, if we find some negative energies, some energies of people who we don't need, and sometimes these can be like really sticky energies. And how do you get them out? So we do the process again. You charge up your womb by breath or by intention. Once again, you do the womb breathing. You can do the reem chanting. You can do om chanting. You can do many other practices, or just tune up all your chakras with the vocal toning. And once your body's charged and energized, and you have the Shakti circuits all up and flowing and running in your body, bring to mind this particular person, place, situation. And then you command it. Command from a space of love. And if you can't do it, my best way to do it is also inviting and invoking Archangel Michael. He is one dude of a guy. So call him and tell him, please help me get this little felly, this memory out gently, with love. It is your womb, not theirs. So who you're going to keep in your space, you're going to tell Archangel Michael. Or you can do it yourself. All right. So we are here. At the end of today's session. This has been a wonderful series. I want you to take the time to create the womb mandala now. Because you have done all of your cleanses, you've understood your womb connection to the cycles, to the tides, the sacred cycles. You've learned about the womb Shakti circuits. And now you're being very conscious and aware of who you want to keep in your space and around your womb space. Who is your teacher? Who do you consider to be the one who will guide you on your journey? Who you want in that space. So become very aware. And now, I want to thank you all. And I will be putting up some more webinars on other topics, and stay tuned. And you can also put in the comments if there are any particular topics you want me to cover. I'll do that for you. Thank you to all the teachers who have come before me, who have shared their wisdom, from whose wisdom I have picked up stuff and shared with you. All the artwork here belongs to the artists. My due reverence to all of them. And I'm sharing this here as an educated tool. I have no ownership of any of this. So thank you, and a deep bow to you all. Create your own womb mandala. Journey on this journey of self-discovery of your own womb power. Thank you, and take care, everyone. Let's end the session with 3 deep breaths to ground our experience. Take a deep breath. One more time, breathe in. Another time, breathe in. Thank you, everybody. Have a good time with yourselves and own the power of your womb. This is Dr. Evelet Sequeira signing off. Lots of love to all of you and blessings from my womb to yours.